Here's the game. MDQ has the white pieces. Let's see. So I've been playing knight f6. Time to switch back to d5. And he plays one of those moves where it wouldn't have mattered what I played. Yeah, just going for that setup. A call system or something like it. Yeah, so I can play c5 right away here. Oh, now that's different. So it's a delayed Queen's Gambit, inviting me to go into something like the Tarrasch variation. Let's take a pawn here. I don't have a knight on c6 as a target, so this should be okay. If he takes here, I can take back. If I play e5, where's the knight go? Just back, I guess, and then I have to defend it. And then maybe he takes here. It should be okay. I still have a check if I want to pick something up along this rank here, the fifth rank. I suppose he could pin the knight with the queen. Okay, but he just wants to trade, which is all right, I guess. So I think this should be kind of even. His knight went out and back, so I have two knights out. I actually have a one move extra in development than what I would normally get. Do I have anything better than going back to f6? It's knight to b5 here, knight b4 rather, looking at c2 and d3. He's probably going to trade queens, I guess. So knight knight to b4 would make the queen trade unattractive because it'd be threatening to come in here into c2 after the trade. Let's see, if he kicks my knight, I guess I would trade queens. He does it anyway. So he's going to have to move his king or do something to guard the c2 square because his rook is just lost in the corner. I had to take with the king because this knight is defending the pawn. So let's start by playing... He can kick my knight. No, he can't kick my knight. Okay, so let's start by playing here, so that frees up this knight. So it's not needed to defend the e-pawn all the time. And he went there with the bishop. So I have this great check here, but unfortunately he's got it covered with the knight. Okay, let's develop my bishop. Which one? Maybe this one. Let's see if he wants to do something to try and preserve his pawn structure there. It's not clear that I want to take. Giving up the bishop just to damage the pawns. Yeah, so he goes for the check. I guess I'll go here. I don't want to get in the way of that bishop. And then the king can go over to f7. Bishop e7, king f7, something like that. Rook to d8. Let's see, I could bring the bishop back and attack the a-pawn. since I didn't manage to provoke any reaction over here, and I'm not sure I want to take that knight. Let's see, if I come over here to attack the A pawn, he would probably just play b3. He plays b3 anyway. Okay, without even being asked. So his knight is loose. So if I could go somewhere like knight here, check, bishop takes, and I can take his knight, but that's just a trade, nothing very exciting. So I say bishop e7, king f7 is the idea here. You know, the problem with king f7 is he's got bishop to c4. That might be kind of annoying. So I could start with, let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, he's defending this pawn. You know, I could have just taken that pawn all this time, huh? Not very alert of me, was it? Okay. I'm thinking of playing a6 and b5, and then playing king f7, just so I don't have to deal with that check. Also take squares away from this knight. Okay, so now I'm thinking of king f7 and rook to d8. King f7. Yeah, I've got this, the bishops are covering this first 3 rows here pretty well. And he could have penetrated. No, the knights are covering these squares. Yeah, he doesn't have many squares on the d file. It's interesting. Of course, I have trouble penetrating as well. Yeah, so this is probably going to turn out into a whole lot of nothing. He is leaving his pawn hanging again, so maybe I'll just grab the pawn. At this point, being a pawn up might be good. Might be enough for the win. So after I take, is my knight getting trapped? That's the question. He can come out to this square or this square. He's got his dark squared bishop that can't cover both of them. Yeah, let's just start grabbing stuff. And plus I can play my bishop to e6 here, take that pawn and defend the knight. That's another way of creating a little space for that knight. Or bishop to e7, chase this bishop off the diagonal so my knight can come back to b4 there, which was a good square. He's got a tactic that almost works. Yeah, I wasn't paying too much attention, but he has knight takes e4 check. And fortunately when I take back, okay, I have to take here. Yeah, maybe he spotted this idea. So if I move this knight, then he could play. No, he can't. He's moved his bishop, so there's no knight e4 check trick. Anyway, it wasn't working because I had knight takes e5 rather. Knight takes e5 defending the bishop. So I was okay. So if I take his knight now, he takes my knight, then I have to move the bishop. Or I could just move the knight and attack this pawn. So I'm not sure what his idea was with that move. He just gave up a piece, it seems. Yeah, so bishop here hits that pawn, kind of indirectly protects my my knight. And, well, he got 2 pawns. 2 pawns for a knight. So I should be winning here. We'll see. It'll be an end game. Let's see if I can finish it correctly. Things can always go wrong in an end game, so I think I want to keep taking stuff. Makes it easier to keep these pawns under control. So where's the good square for the knight? Maybe here to start with, as long as there's no fork. Want to watch out if the king and the knight get on the same. Maybe he was seeing some kind of fork along that diagonal. Anyway, the knight is looking at the c6 square, which will prevent this pawn from queening. And let's just place it there immediately. It gains it. I mean, I can do that with tempo. Kick his bishop back. And then let's get my bishop to a better square, like here. Starting here. Maybe it'll come out to the center. Okay, so he wants to go there. Let's put pawns on light squares so he can't attack him with his bishop. And then come forward with the king. Looks like he's going to play ambitiously, pushing his pawns forward. So if I play f5, takes, I take, he takes, I take, and I'll be left with a lonely h-pawn. So let's hold off on that. His drawing idea is to trade off all his pawns, I guess. So which of these pawns is weakest? This one here, I guess. Here, no, I don't want to do that. Knight here, knight here. Let's bring the knight around this way. Maybe lend some support to the f5 square. And okay, so he's going to sit there. So I guess I have to do something. Need to create a little space for my king to break through. Ah, he goes that way. So taking here is check. And then here, it's not good. I was saying it attacks the pawn and the bishop, but he pushes that pawn forward with check. I take. He takes with check, defended by his king, and now I have to move my king away from the knight. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's pass for one move here. Let's see. Oh, maybe this way. Bring the knight around this way. I can check the king here and then get to this square. Okay, so he goes ahead with that. So at least he's playing this at a time. Okay, that's on a dark square. So let's move my king to a light square. So he's down to 3 weak pawns, and I'm down to 1 pawn. So let's check here and drive his king back. I was worried that his king would step into yeah, d5 there. That might have been dangerous if he can penetrate with the king. Now my bishop and my knight are covering those 2 squares. So his king goes sideways. Oh, I grab this pawn. Yeah, now he comes forward. So that's probably the idea here. So let's attack the f pawn. See if I can win that. I may have to sacrifice a piece to get the this other pawn here. Then it'll be tricky. Because he can gain tempo. he can gain tempi like that. Here, let's go this way. Okay, so I get this one, and that also is a tempo on the bishop. So now the bishop is covering this square, I'm covering this square. And he's looking also at this square. So what's the way to finish this? Knight here. Now I don't want to give up the knight for the pawn. I want to give up the bishop for the pawn. So I can just wait till he plays it to that square. I can also try and get my knight somewhere that's attacking that square. Knight here to here would be interesting, maybe. So bishop first or knight first, does it matter? And an easily winning king and pawn endgame. So that's one way to do it. It's a rook pawn, but it's ahead of his king, so I can just march it. He can run over there, but he's a step behind all the way. And he resigned. Okay, good game. I'll upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.